If you've been looking for an easier way to do web scraping or data extraction, then you may want to consider using Apify. Apify is a diverse platform that you can use to build, deploy, and publish web scrapers. In Apify world, these are called actors. You can then use these actors to extract data from across popular platforms such as TikTok, Google Maps, LinkedIn, YouTube, and so much more. And when paired with BuildShip, you unlock a new realm of automation. Let's look at a use case where we have a BuildShip automation that accepts a YouTube video URL. When we execute this workflow, we'll use the Apify Get YouTube's caption node to extract the captions from the YouTube video, and then we'll use Anthropic Claude to generate an engaging set of quiz questions along with their answers. We'll then structure the quizzes in JSON format. And then finally, our workflow will return this structured version of the quiz we generate. From here, we can take this and plug it into any frontend of our choice to create engaging quizzes that we can share with our audience after every video we publish. We're going to be building this from scratch. But first, you'll want to make sure that you have an Apify account. Once you do that, you're going to want to go to the console. This is the YouTube actor that we're going to be using from Apify to extract the captions from any video we give it. We'll make sure we leave a link to this actor in the description of this video. So we're going to start from scratch and we're going to create a new workflow. And we're just going to call this YouTube Quiz Generator. Our workflow will need to take in a video URL. So for that, we can add a new input of type string, and we'll just call this video URL. Next, I'm going to add our Apify node. For that, I'll bring up the nodes library, and then I'll scroll through the Apify integration group. And you can see currently BuildShip offers Apify data extraction nodes that you can use to scrape data from across YouTube, Instagram, Reddit, and TikTok. We're going to be using the Get YouTube Captions node. So that will add the node to my workflow. The next thing you'll want to make sure you do is add your Apify API key here. If you don't already have that saved in BuildShip, you can go back to Apify and then go to Settings, API and Integrations, and then you can copy this personal API token and save it in BuildShip. The only edit we need to do to this node is to change this hard-coded video URL. So we'll remove this and we'll use our video URL input instead. Before we move on, we can verify that this node works as we expect it to, and we're not running into any issues. We can test this individual node, and we'll need to enter a YouTube video URL. I'm just going to choose a random video from the BuildShip YouTube channel. So I'm just going to right click here and copy the video URL. We'll go back to BuildShip. We'll paste the video URL here and we can test our node. We then get back the extraction results from Apify. So we expand this. Notice the result that we get back is a list, and each item here is a particular timestamp in the video. What we are going to do is join all the text from across all the different timestamps together. This way, we have the full caption text that we can easily pass to an LLM. So to begin, we'll add a utility node and we'll search for join, and we'll add this extract and join my key node. The easiest way to understand how this node works and why we added it to our workflow is to just put it to the test. So we'll copy the output of this Get YouTube Caption node that we previously tested. And I'm just going to copy the entire result. And now we can test this extract and join by key node. So it takes in an array. So I am going to paste the results. And next, we need to specify the key in the array that we want to merge. So remember, for us, that was the text field. And now we can just test this node. As you can see, we get back the full captions of the video in one big chunk of text. And this is perfect because we're going to be passing this on to Claude to generate the quiz questions, multiple choices, and answers for us using this as context. But first, let's just make sure we don't forget to configure the node. So for the array, we're going to use the value from the get YouTube captions node. And then as we just saw when we ran the test, the key will be text. So at this point, we're going to have the full caption of any YouTube video we specify. And since we're building a YouTube quiz generator, we need to start generating the quiz. BuildShip integrates with a number of popular AI models, but for this part of our workflow, we're just going to be using Claude from Anthropic, and we'll use the Claude AI chat node. The first thing we need to do here is specify our Anthropic API key. But recently in BuildShip, there's a new way to do this where you can use your project credits, and this way you don't have to go hunting for any API keys. Next, we need to specify our instructions to Claude. So I'm just going to paste a prompt that I prepared ahead of time. Basically, this is just telling Claude that it's a quiz generation expert for BuildShip, and we're going to give it the captions from a YouTube video. And then we want it to extract key concept, facts, events, and create a multiple choice quiz for us. So that's the instructions. And next for the prompt, we're just going to use the output of the previous extract and join by key node. Remember that this node will return the full captions for the video. And so we can copy this and then we can test the Anthropic node to get a quick preview of what our quiz will look like for this video. Here's our result. We can expand this. As you can see, we are getting back 5 questions. And then following the question, we get a list of multiple choices. And then finally, we get the correct answer. We're going to take this quiz and return it in a structured format. And for generating structured outputs in BuildShip, there's a couple of options. But since we've already used Anthropic, let's use OpenAI for this. And here I am going to select the JSON generator node. And first, I just need to make sure I select an API key. Just as with the Claude node, I am going to opt for the use credits option here. For the input, we're going to remove this, and we're going to use the result from the Anthropic node. The key input of this node is the schema, and this is where we're going to be able to define the structure of our quiz. I'm just going to clear out what we have here. And now we'll start by adding a new field. Instead of using a string for the field type, we'll use an array because we have a list of questions. For the array item type, we're going to change that from a string to an object. And then we can add a new field in that object. And the first field here will be of type string for the question. Next, we'll add a new string field for our choices. And then finally, we'll add a string field for the answer. That's the final step for our YouTube quiz generator. And now for the fun part, we can put this to the test. So I'm going to test my workflow. And then I'm going to pass a YouTube video URL. This time, I'll be using a BuildShip video that covers how to test and debug your workflows. So I'm just going to copy the video URL, go back to BuildShip, paste that, and let's give this a go. But I have a validation error. Get YouTube captions is not an object. Let's quickly fix this. I'm just going to bring up the code editor and then I'm going to go to the inputs for this node. And then here we need to change the type from an object to an array. I'm going to save this, go back to test our workflow. We ran into a second issue. For a JSON generator node, it looks like we're using an invalid model. So let's expand the advanced settings here. Instead of using this GPT version, let's just use the GPT 4.1. And now I will go back to test my workflow. And fingers crossed, this time we should get back our generated quiz. Our workflow has completed. Let's expand the result that we get back. And here you can see that we're getting back a list of questions now in structured format. And each entry in this list has 3 fields. The first one is for the question, the second field for the choices, and then finally we get the answer. I'm noticing that the field name is missing here. So let's go back to our JSON generator node and make sure we didn't forget to give our array a name, which as you can see, I did. So let's just call this quiz. And let's run our workflow one more time. Perfect. And this time around, we can see that the quiz field name has been added. Just like that, we're now able to automate the process of generating engaging quizzes for our YouTube videos. The great part about this is that our quiz is in the structured format, which will allow us to easily create a website for this using any AI builder of our choice, such as Bolt, Lovable, Tempo Labs, you name it. That's all for this video. I will catch you in the next one. Happy build shipping.